Welcome to NIT Jalandhar in the BTech Physics Lab. Today we will discuss Newton rings method. So basically this is the physical laboratory here. So due to COVID-19 pandemic we have to shift to the modern approaches. And so in this Newton rings experiment, this is basically manual. So in this Newton rings experiment, what are the basic background that you should know? You should be familiar with coherent source of lights, concept of interference by division of wavefront and amplitude, interference in thin films, and last but not least, Newton rings apparatus. So what is our aim today? Our aim is to determine the wavelength of sodium light by Newton rings method. So let's talk about apparatus. So first of all, we need a nearly monochromatic source of light, that is source of sodium light. So basically this box here contains the source of sodium light, and you can see some orange color there, some bulb is there which is glowing, and also a plano-convex lens. Okay, so I have here two lenses. So in the apparatus section I need a plano-convex lens and an optical glass plate. Okay, so what is plano-convex lens? So you can see that in the image that I will share, and how to determine which one is the plano-convex lens and which one is the normal lens, flat glass. So I'm just checking by this method. So basically when I am seeing through this particular lens, there is some zooming. Okay, that means it has some properties of convex lens, but in this case there is no zoom. So image is appearing as it is in the same size. So this is a normal lens and this is a plano-convex lens. So what about other apparatus? And we have an flat, optically flat glass plate inclined at angle of 45 degree. Basically this is the optically glass plate, you can see through this lens. So this is the telescope here, and it has a measuring scale with some vernier scale as well. So it has vernier constant 0.01 millimeter or 0.01 centimeter. So, and last we have spherometer, this system here. So basically it is used to calculate the radius of curvature of the plano-convex lens. So this was all about the apparatus section. Now we will talk about the procedure section. So now we will discuss experimental setup. So let's follow the procedure. So as I discussed earlier, this is a 45 degree glass plate, and what I have to do, I have to place it in front of the sodium lamp, the opening, and we have to sure that it should be aligned vertically and horizontally. Like it should be vertically aligned with the lens, the microscope, and it should be horizontally aligned with the source. Now about lenses. Start. Okay, so you can see the diagrammatic representation of the setup. So this is the telescope and this is the sodium source here, and the glass plate is inclined to 45 degree. This is a flat glass plate, and in the downside we have two lenses. One is the plano-convex lens, the upper side is plane and the lower side is convex lens, and on the bottom we have flat glass plate. Okay, so now we will set up according to this, and this one is the plano-convex lens. Now how to know which side is plano-convex lens and which side is flat lens? So what I will do, I will just rotate it on the paper. Okay, so clearly one side there is a friction and the other side there is less friction, so it is rotating easily as compared to the other side. So that means on this side it is rotating freely. So this is the convex part here. So now according to the image I have to put it like this. So this is my flat surface, a flat glass plate on the both side, and I place it like this, and this is the convex side, and this is the plane side. So I will just place it like this. Now so I am arranging this 45 degree setup, and so again it should be aligned both horizontally and vertically. So when you place it like this and adjust this telescope by, if the setup is perfectly aligned, that means if the setup is same as like this image, then the Newton rings should be formed. So now I can see the Newton rings here. So I have to do some fine tuning to see a perfect image. Okay. Now what I am saying is, I am seeing images like this. Okay. So this is the interference pattern, circular interference pattern I am observing, and you can see there are concentric circles, alternative bright and dark fringes, and the radius of the fringes is increasing and the width of the fringes is decreasing as we go away from the center. So why the center fringe is dark, that is another question. So I hope you will get it. Now what I am seeing in this telescope is this type of image. So we have observed the interference pattern. So if you can see, there is a cross wire which is in the telescope, and now what I have to do, I have to measure the length of this particular fringe from the center of this system. Okay, so now I will explain that thing in the procedure method. So let me show you the table here. So we have already observed this type of photograph in the telescope, and now what we have to do, according to this table, we have to measure the length of the particular fringe from the center. So in this table we have 10 entries. First of all, this is represented the ring column. So ring number, let us say we are talking about this first ring. So the cross wire should be placed here, and it should be in the center more or less of the fringe. Now we have to measure the microscope reading. So we have two readings, basically left and right. So let me start with left first of all. So you can see I using this, there is a knob here. By unscrewing or screwing this knob, I can move left or right. So if I want to go right, then I have to rotate it, and if I want to go left, then I have to unrotate it. Okay, in the other side. So now using the rotation screw, so using the rotation screw, I go to this side. In the left side I picked the first fringe, and now my cross wire is somewhere in the middle. Now I want to take the reading here. Now what I have to do, I have to go to this scale. यहाँ जो होगा इस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट दिख रहा है, मतलब so this scale the reading is more or less 7.1 to 7.3. Yeah, it is 7.35. okay, plus the vernier correction. So it's difficult to see the which line is coinciding with the main scale of the vernier scale. So let me just tell you, I am using this zoom lens here. So the line, the 19th line is coinciding with the main scale. So now here the main scale reading is 7.35. what is the vernier reading? Vernier reading is 19th fringe is coinciding, and I have to multiply with it the least count, which is the vernier constant here. So this is basically 0.01 centimeter. So I have to multiply it with L dash. Okay, so that will be the final reading. So let us assume the correction is something 0.005. so that means this reading should be 7.305. so this is just an idea, main original reading can be different. So similarly I rotate this screw again and move to the right side of the fringes, and I apply the same method. I calculated the main reading. So now if that is 7, let us say I go to this particular side, and now my reading is somewhat, let us say 9.35, and again the, let us say 30th line is coinciding with L dash. So the main reading is 9.357. so these are just ideas. I will share the actual reading with you. So now what I have to do, I have to calculate the diameter. So obviously the diameter will be left minus r. So this full, the diameter of the full circle can be obtained with this method. Now I can square this dn, and ultimately I have to calculate this value here. Why I have to calculate this value? Because in the formula to calculate the lambda, we have this thing. We need d square n minus d square m 4r n minus m mu. Okay. So what is mu here? Basically mu is the refractive index of air, and its value is 1. So this whole experiment can be performed in such other medium by immersing the lens in water or other medium. What we have to change is the value of mu here. The whole thing will remain same. Now you can calculate the readings for different end here, and you can calculate the whole table. The main thing here I want to tell you is, whenever you want to choose m, it should be less than n. So if you want to calculate, let us say d square 3 minus d square let us say 5. So now according to this I have to choose the m should be less than n, that means d square minus 2. So the random entries can be taken like d square 4 minus d square 3. So you can pick any value. So we have d square, you can pick any values, and similarly you can pick like this. So it's your choice. So you can take 10 readings. Now this table has been completed. Okay, this table has been completed. So after calculating the entries for the previous table, we can apply to this formula here. So clearly we have calculated this thing here, and also n minus m has been calculated for this particular thing. Mu we know. Now we want to calculate this r here. Okay, so what is r? R is the radius of curvature, and the formula for r is given in this page like this. R is equal to L square upon 6h plus h by 2. So what is L and what is h? So that is the next thing. For this we have this table. Okay, so first of all, to calculate the R, we need this thing. This is called spherometer, and we want to know the L. L is basically the length between these two knobs here. So how to measure this? I will simply push it in the page, and there are two dots created. So by using the ruler, so I can calculate it is somewhere 4.1 centimeter, more or less. 4.1 centimeter. So you can give 3 iterations. You can calculate 3 times with this ruler. Now I want to calculate this h. To calculate this h, first of all, let's talk about this spherometer. So what is the pitch of this screw? So after one rotation, how much it increases in length? So it basically increases 0.1 centimeter. And pitch, a number of division on circular head. So if I talk about this circular head, number of divisions are 100. So you can simply calculate the least count of this spherometer. Okay, it's very easy if you know this and this. So this work is for you. Okay, now how to calculate the h here? So we have lenses. I choose plano convex lens here. First I go to the plane side. So let's first of all calibrate this thing. So all the 3 legs should be perfectly aligned, perfectly balanced on this table. Okay, this is somewhere here, and it is now 0. Okay, so now what I will do, so this I have calibrated this, so I have to check the plano side again. So this is my plano side. So I will just unscrew, rotate it anti-clockwise, then I place the legs here, then I slowly move this until I feel a touch. Yeah, now I feel this touch. Now again, now this should not be 0, because the plano convex lens, it has some height, okay, some radius. So I can calculate this reading. So the reading observed is basically h. So I wrote here. So let us see, it is 0.01 cm. Again, this is the rough reading. Okay, so after putting this in this formula, I guess this is right. After putting this in this formula, I calculated r, and using this r in this expression, we can solve for different manner. Okay, so you can calculate for different dn and dm. So we have these much values here. So it should be around 5989.3 ounce, or nanometer, you can say 5893. Okay, nanometer. Okay, so observed wavelength of light, that is our result. So this is your part, and actual wavelength is basically this. So what I have written here is the actual wavelength, but it should be within the 5% range, and you can calculate the percentage error here by using this formula. So this manual will be shared on the website of physics department. You can fetch this from there, and also you can see there are some precautions written over there, and also some sample viva questions. So these are some references. Again, I'm saying that you can fetch this document from the website. Also, I will share the readings with you, the photograph of the apparatus with you, and the main thing I came across is the virtual, you can see the simulation of Newton rings experiment. Okay, so I will share that online portal with you. You can go there, play around with the system there, play around with the you can simply rotate, you can do all the things that right now I am doing here. Okay, so if you feel any problem in this experiment, you can ask me, so I will drop a mail here. So I guess this is all about this experiment, and I am very thankful for my YouTube handling the camera for me. Thank you.